Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and happy holidays from Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis Dahl from Summer Dental Laboratories in Zionsville, Indiana, and we are at episode number 39. Unfortunately, Barbara cannot be here today. She tells me that Night Dental Group had an epic Christmas party last night, so she's spending the weekend with friends and family. I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday. This episode comes out on Christmas Eve, so everyone listening on the day it comes out, I thank you. I don't think there's going to be many because I hope you're all celebrating with your friends and family. Just know that once all the celebration is over and you need to get away from your family, all the episodes will be here anytime you want. I suggest locking yourself in your closet with an iPhone and some headphones and enjoying all of Voices from the Bench. Last week, we started a conversation with Alex and Danielle Wünsche. This week, they join us and they talk more about their day-to-day operation within Zontechnique, how they get new clients, and how they find new employees. So join us as we continue with the Wünsches. Voices from the Bench. The interview.
Yeah, so I'm really just waiting till I hear from that person, and hopefully one day I can really openly about it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, Alex, when you're not speaking or taking pictures, doing the photography deal, what do you do on your day-to-day routine at Zontechnique?
In Zontechnique?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you already. I just sit there and look cute. I'm not doing anything. I'm very hyperactive. So I'm running around like a little bunny from one edge to the other edge or corner to the other corner. And I'm just trying to kill fires. Mainly, my passion in dental, I said I'm a dental technician, I do everything, but my passion is ceramic. So I'm definitely see myself home in the ceramic, what I'm doing most of the day, basically in Zontechnique when I'm at the bench. I'm also doing a lot of the complex cases here, basically case planning, engineering, and also finishing of working on complex cases. And also, of course, CAD-CAM. CAD-CAM is definitely one of my passions as well, besides ceramic in dentistry, because it's just moving so fast and it's so interesting what's coming out literally every week almost now. And my speaking kind of focus a lot of digital dentistry and new progressive dentistry, basically. So that's kind of what I'm concentrating on. Of course, customer communication, this is one of my parts in the laboratory, what I'm doing all day long, discussing cases, especially we have these big cases, there has to be a lot of communication with the customers. And it's just us keeping customers happy as well. If there is a fire, kill the fire with the customer and getting to a good result. That's, of course, also a big portion. Of course, taking care of my team. That's in the production. We have a great team, a very interesting team, and it's fun with working with them. They're phenomenal technicians, and taking care for them and make sure everything runs very smooth and round.
Yeah, sounds like you stay pretty busy.
Just a little. How do you find technicians in your area? You're in Miami, right? Or where are you at?
We're in Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough because, it's you barely find anybody really you can just build on right now. You have to totally train them. We were locked out a little bit the last couple years, I would say, because we have McFeather, our technical college here, and so we actually got technicians from there, which was fantastic. But right now there's nothing coming, so it's a little bit dry. And we're trying to find basically technicians. Social media, of course, we made some job postings out there. We got some feedback today from some kind of people they called, hey, I know somebody. So that's kind of where we're counting on. So we'll see. When we have a very unique team here, and also that person has to fit in. We're a boutique lab. We're not a big production where we have 100 technicians in one big laboratory. We are 12 people.
That's why I asked the question, because I know a little bit about your lab, and I know you do a lot of really hard cases. I'm sure you have some, single units, but you do a lot of really difficult cases. And to find that level of technician nowadays is, really, it's a struggle. I'm looking for one right now, and I can't find them. So God bless those that have that skill, but it's difficult for us lab owners that need it to find it. So I was just curious if you had any tips for me.
Like I said, social media, the good thing is I'm very active there. So a lot of people they're friend with me and stuff. So they see what we're looking for. And then with the lecturing and travel, of course, you spread the word basically. So also there is some activity there. So we'll see. We'll find someone sometime.
Yeah, I saw your Facebook ad, so it works. It's out there.
Yeah, I can tell. You saw it.
I applied. I didn't hear anything back, but I applied.
I could apply if I wanted to move over to you, but I don't know. I can't find anybody.
Yeah. How many people do you have now in Florida location?
We're about, I would say 70 technicians and then a lot of admin. We're about 115 overall. Out of those 70, maybe 2 or 3, and this is no disrespect for my technicians, but 2 or 3 that probably could work for you, which is good for a big lab. We have a very large CAC department, which are comprehensive aesthetic department, but we don't do the hybrids and all the amazing stuff that you do. I look at, what you do and I'm like, damn, it's amazing. Pretty.
How long has Zahn Technique been around? I don't think I grasped the years.
Yeah, so Zahn Technique is around since almost 50 years now.
Wow, really?
You're actually,
I had no idea.
I think right now the longest or oldest still working dental laboratory in Miami. I don't know, even South Florida, I wouldn't say that, but in Miami, definitely. So the previous owner, he founded us in basically 70s, so 1970, right? 1970. Also, he was German. He's still German. He's still alive with his wife. So he's German as well, and then built really a very, very successful and very high-end business here. And it was pretty cool.
Has it always been around a 12-ish person lab? Or?
Yes, when he built it up, he started by himself with his wife, and also husband and wife team, same what we do now. And they
Interesting.
Basically then up to a 9-10 people or person team, and then up to 11, 12, sometimes 13 people. So always in the same size. And when we took over in the peaks, we were kind of 13, 14 and down to 11, 12. So that's always in the same size about where we are. You guys know you're 12 people today, you're 10 people tomorrow sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's kind of how we always were that size.
So what's the future? Are you looking to stay that size, stay your niche market, or are you looking to grow into a larger lab?
Well, the future, the goal is basically in 2 to 3 years, going to Barb and buying her out at Night Dental. No, it's just true.
Nice.
No, the future is, of course, we want to grow. I still see myself still home in high-end and very high-quality, high-end segment. So it always will be a boutique-style dental laboratory. But we have to grow. My philosophy I'm definitely... how to say that? Yeah, my philosophy is basically if you have a business and you don't grow anymore, you die. And that's kind of very, very important.
Agreed.
You can grow slow, you can grow fast, but you have to grow. And we're making it very organic. The high-end market, I see there is a little boom. There is a grow right now. We're feeling it on our own that we're getting quite a lot of new customers in that market, in that segment, in high-end. And we're enjoying that, literally, and that helps us to grow, basically. But high-end is still small, and because of pricing, of course, as well, it's not a fast growth. So I see ourselves growing slow, but static, and maybe I would say maybe 25-person lab at some point.
We talk about that a lot as well, and I think, yes, everybody wants to grow, but we also talk about there are certain levers that we can definitely push or pull, but we want to make sure that we have all the foundation in place, especially because we've now been owners for 4 years. We want to make sure that we can really, as we bring on every new client, that we can support them and still maintain and meet the expectations that we've set out. I think that would be a failure, if we grow and then we can no longer really meet those core values and propositions that we had set forth with our organization. So it's been really I would say measured growth, just to make sure that we can also keep anybody who we do bring on as new clients.
So how do you guys acquire a new client? That kind of gives me a little segue into that. I know you do some marketing. So how do you go about gaining a new client or bringing on that business? I know not until you're ready, but do you market?
The high-end market is very sensitive, and you cannot get new clients with cold calls, for example, or going door to door. That doesn't work in the high-end market. It's basically, let me say, ear to mouth. Yeah.
No,
or mouth to ear.
So referrals, word of mouth referrals. Word of mouth, exactly. A happy client is going to become a raving fan, and tell their colleagues about you, and that's really it. It's creating raving fans is really what we try to do. And if you are happy with what we do, then you're going to talk about us, and that's really how we've been growing our business.
Yep.
It's then talking about us to their colleagues, whether it's at a study club or whether they're just out playing golf. And then we have their colleagues and at some point contacting us and talking about a case that might be challenging, and then feeling, like they want to then send the case with us. And they like to, we like that as well, to walk a little bit before you run, because we like to get to know each other.
Yeah, I always say, you talk with clients or with maybe future clients, and Alex, I'm waiting for that case to send to you. It's really challenging, but she has to come out. She or he has to come to the practice. I say, you know what? Why not first dating before you marry me?
Yeah, I agree.
Really easy, peasy grounds just to start with, to see if you even like my style. Because as a boutique lab, you have a certain style of cases. You're more into art, you're more into creativity, into natural looks, basically. So you have to like what we do. If you don't like that and we're starting a big case, you will be disappointed and you will never send a case again. So I would like to know what you like, and you have to see what I can deliver. So it's kind of very, very challenging in the market sometimes to get customers' expectation. They are very high if they're already starting with, and then they're waiting for that case. And that's kind of sometimes a little bit, it's bothers sometimes, really.
Right.
Yeah, it's stressful.
We have that.
Yeah, sure.
I would say, on another note, what we do have that we're working through, it's a new challenge, as we have a new client, getting to, dating them, if you will, and the information. So working with the new client sometimes, working on communicating with impression, something as simple as impression. And when it's not ideal, and it's kind of when we call and we speak with them and they're just work with it. Well, it's really hard, if we don't get the great workup, then it's really hard to create a really beautiful, high quality restoration. So I think that's also something that I'm sure everybody encounters, but definitely for the expectations that some people have from a laboratory like this, it doesn't happen out of nowhere. Definitely you have to have great information coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Do you ever pick up clients through all your speaking engagements? Do you speak to dentists, or do you mostly speak with dental technicians?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I do speak for dentists, and I would say it's almost 50-50.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Dental technicians, 50% for dentists. And I have to also say that dentist speaking gets more and more, but I enjoy a lot, to be also very honest. And yes, I do pick up clients there as well. I mean, I would lie if I would say no.
I would definitely maybe reword that. Okay. Because
pick up is the wrong word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anyone to think when Alex speaks that is the main goal.
Sure.
I think that he definitely has passion. I mean, that's definitely why the both of you were so kind to be able to speak with us in the evening, for this podcast. There's a mutual passion for dentistry. Mm-hmm. When I worked in my previous position, I also worked in education for a certain amount of years. And so I've seen a lot of presenters, and I definitely know that when someone presents with the goal of just really selling themselves or selling their business, when they're put into a platform to educate, it doesn't go over well.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can definitely tell when they're up there to sell you a product.
Yep.
Compared to educate you about the product.
Yes, I mean, that's what, I mean, you guys heard me speaking, I think, a couple times now, and I usually, my lectures are never promotional. I'm always trying to keep it very, very educational. And that's I do with my lectures to dentists as well for technicians the same way. But also to be honest, I mean, we getting here and there a client out of a lecture, of course, because he sees what we do. And they basically have every dentist out here has that case. and they then up front say, yeah, I have that special case, and can you take a look? And then of course we discuss it, and then we may be ending up doing the case together, and maybe he's happy, maybe he's not happy. I'm not saying every client or every new client is happy with what we're doing, to be very honest. I mean, that comes down to taste. Aesthetic is always a matter of taste. Function is a matter of right or wrong, but aesthetic is a matter of taste. And there are dentists, definitely, or patients, they do not like what I do. And I respect that. And there are many friends of mine as dentists, they don't like what I do and they don't work with me, but they were good friends still. So that always comes down to basically taste in aesthetic, and then we'll just take it from there.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you exactly speak about when you speak to dentists? Is it clinical technique or is it laboratory technique so they get a better understanding of what we do in the lab?
It's pretty much a mix. Of course, it's laboratory focused. I'm realizing a lot of dentists, they're very curious about our laboratory world. Mm-hmm. It's a lot about materials. Materials is one of the top topics what dentists would like to know more about, because they don't, unfortunately, know that. And who is better to talk about materials than a dental technician? My advantage is that I definitely have a good material knowledge out of my education in Germany, and I always kept up with that. There was always also a industry passion for myself. And we are on cutting edge at Sound Technique in terms of materials. We have the up and running and newest of the newest materials here to play with and to alpha and beta test. So I can talk quite a bit about materials and also about the real world, about using these materials in real world cases. And I showed it. And that's kind of, I can tell of dentists, they're pretty bonded into that. They're kind of, oh, wow, that's very interesting. And that's kind of a lot of talks. Implant dentistry, of course, is very, very hot for them to talk about implant dentistry. Workflows is a very good topic for dentistry, or for dentists to listen to from a technical perspective, that they can actually deliver better records to us, that we can actually have a better result. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Digital dentistry is also one of my favorite topics to both sides. And I talk to dentists about that, focuses a lot on intraoral scanning and on possibilities and impossibilities. That is one of my newer topics, to actually educate them about the current impossibilities in digital dentistry, because they're also getting kind of a little bit, how can I point it out, to the wrong path, basically, if you know what I mean, from the industry. They think they can scan everything what they see, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, so that's kind of important things to educate them in. And yeah, that's quite a bit that keeps me busy, believe me.
I get that. I actually talked to a dentist just the other day who mentioned to me that he wanted to get a 3D printer to do dentures because he figured it would be a scan and then a button, not understanding
yes.
everything else that's involved
Fantastic,
with it.
Yeah.
He really thought it was going to be that easy without the thought of design or anything. It was quite a comical conversation, actually.
I have got a question. When you do so much educating, how do you educate yourself? How do you stay current? Where do you learn all your new advances? I mean, what do you seek out?
I seek out a lot from the industry, basically from industry partners or non-partners, to see what's out there. Mm-hmm. I'm now at the position, I'm very lucky about that, and very, very happy that I do get a lot of brand new materials to test, basically. That's almost self-education. You know, you go through a certain process with that material, and you figure things out, and you then sit down together with the R&D department from these companies to figure out, or even to help them a lot of times, to consult them. That's a lot of education. But to be very honest, the best education for me over the last years was actually my own lecturing for my own audience. I appreciate a lot of people that bring a lot of input into lectures. I love to have interactive presentations, interactive lectures, because everybody has something to show or something to say. Everybody who is a while in the business especially, and you can learn so much from your own attendees. It's just incredible. So that's kind of also a good learning source for me.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sure. Well, we're wrapping up here. I really appreciate you guys coming on. I learned a lot about where you came from and where you're at and where you're going. What are your predictions for our industry in a whole? Do you see CAD/CAM taking over everything? Do you see the denture technician fading away? I've heard predictions of labs going away and we're going to be in dental offices eventually. Where do you guys see our industry going?
I see our industry going in two different ways. One way is the broad mass, basically the big bubble in the kind of in the lower end quality area, or it's mean to say lower end, but just in the broad mass market, basically the mainstream, let's say like this, a very price conscious market, very price sensitive market that will definitely blow more up. That will definitely grow a lot. Mm-hmm. I do see our industry as well growing in the high end. As long as people have money and people want to afford something special, our profession in terms of the high-end segment, in terms of boutique labs, in terms of handmade, in combination with CAD/CAM, I personally think will not die. It's always said, if you do good work, you will always have a job. And that's kind of, I'm definitely live by that philosophy. And I see it on our own experience now. We're growing in our high-end segment kind of like crazy compared to our mainstream segment, kind of single individual full counter zirconia crowns. I see a big growth in our end here. I see more growth in our high-end segment. And that speaks for itself. Yeah. Yes, I do see also the prediction in the future that the the mainstream will grow, basically, will definitely get bigger. And digital dentistry will take over in that segment a lot. We will do a lot of more automatic produced restoration. We will have a lot of more of that. I see also the denture market go more digital. There's no way around. And I think it's very, very exciting to see that. I do not see the denture technician dying out, because we still have to have that person taking care for these dentures and finishing them up. I mean, just when we're printing dentures, we're milling dentures, and they all function, but do they really look like teeth? Actually not. So we still have to have these hands, these human hands, basically, to make them look natural and look them like real teeth and like real tissue. And I always say digital dentistry is phenomenal with the human touch.
Yeah, I agree.
That's very, very important. So just as an example, we're just putting now a denture characterization course just especially for digital dentures, to make them look like real teeth, not like just a printed plastic out of a vending machine, basically. So that's kind of a message, basically, that's we still need the human touch for that. And I think that will definitely be for the next a lot of years, for the next years. Yeah. I definitely see not dying something for the next 10, 20 years.
I love that. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate you giving us an hour of your time on a wonderful Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I mean, it was really an honor. Thank you for even, thinking about inviting us to be part of what you're doing. I love what you're doing, by the way, as well. I think it's really
cool. Thank you.
To it's really give back. I mean, sharing knowledge. I mean, it's truly valuable. So giving back to the profession, I think it's also, hopefully people are listening to the podcast that you give, and it really inspires them to maybe try something new, or maybe go a different direction in their career, or hopefully even stay in this profession. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Oh, thank you. I always truly believe that we're just stronger together.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
That's one of our main goals here is.
Yeah. Thank you for the acknowledgement. We appreciate it.
Excellent.
Awesome.
And thank you for the time as well, Barb. And Barb, please, let's do a glass of wine next week.
Yes, we need to hook up. We need to send Alex and Elvis away, and we need to hang out and chat. So I'm all in.
Cool.
It would be awesome.
You guys planning to be at Visions this year? Next year? I get so
We
confused.
just talked about that. We most likely will skip this year because there's so much stuff going on. And
Sure.
we actually planned a little snowboard trip just a week after.
Yay! Good for you guys.
There you go.
Quality of life, no teeth. So
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Chicago it is. We'll see you then.
absolutely.
Right. And maybe are you going to the IDS?
Maybe.
I'd
I've never been. Alex has, so maybe I'll see you guys.
Same here. Yeah.
love to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
All right. I appreciate it, guys. Have a
Yeah,
great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks too. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye. We want to give a big thank you to Alex and Danielle for sharing their story with us. These two are great people that gladly share their knowledge with our industry, and I highly suggest if you get a chance to see Alex speak that you do. And if you're super interested, I suggest you go check out his hands-on course, which is happening in Miami on January 12th. Details on this episode's page at voicesfromthebench.com. Speaking of our website, anytime you listen to our show and you're interested to learn more about the guests, every guest we have on the show has their own page. So check out voicesfromthebench.com to learn more about each guest as they're on. Since we're in the holiday spirit, I suggest you buy yourself a present that's going to help with your New Year's resolutions. We are less than a month from Vision 21. This is the premier business management meeting that's happening in Las Vegas from January 16th to the 19th. Barb and I will both be there recording some attendees. But this is your chance to get yourself a gift that's going to pay off in 2019 by hanging out with some big wigs in the industry, having some great content that's all about growing your business. And with Barb and I being there, this will be our first live recording. So you can come check out to see how bad we really are before I do all the editing. Head over to nadl.org to get registered. And then, of course, right after that, we have Voices of Dentistry. This is a meeting all about dental and podcasting. Barb and I will be there recording for the podcast and maybe even be a guest on a few other podcasts talking about our industry and all the greatness that comes along with us. Voices of Dentistry is January 25th to the 26th in Scottsdale. So we highly suggest you check out voicesofdentistry.com. All right, everyone, enjoy your holiday. We have one more episode left of this year that comes out on the last day of 2018, and so we'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye. I'm dreaming of a bleach-shade Christmas where all my millers are milling and my 3D printers are printing dentures. My margins are